Hey, Bob.
I hear voices, yep.
Me. Yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
Ray. How you doing?
Sandy.
Hi.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Steve. I think that means we're live.
Yep, you guys are live.
Okay, great. So welcome, everyone. We're calling to order the Memorial Naming Committee special meeting agenda of Tuesday, July 25th at 5:30 p.m. Before I get started, I will just let everyone know, since it just came out, that there is a heat advisory from the governor and it runs through Sunday. And we do have our town cooling centers open at the community center and at the library, Mary.
Right.
Unfortunately, the heat and the humidity persist. And also just to let folks know that Acting Chief Collette has now been named Chief Collette. He's been appointed by the town manager. Thank you, Ray. All right. We can start the meeting with public comment. So I'm looking for any public comment that would like to speak for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'd like to speak. Ed, can I go first then?
You're welcome to. Okay, just state your name and address.
So Ed Ciccarello, 40 Riverview Road. Ed, I have a question before I start. So I have, my testimony is talking about the number of things on the agenda. Can I just say them all and then I'll be done instead of waiting for each one?
Sure.
Okay, it's short, it's not long. Okay, thank you. I want to repeat my request to name the town-owned farm on New Road, the Rocky Hill Community Farm. I'm not going to go into all the reasons. I ask that you recollect and honor all the testimony at the last meeting to this effect. I have some comments on the other suggestions for naming. One on the Donald G. Watson room for the community center. There is a request to name a room at the community center for Don Watson. I am all for honoring Don. I ask, however, that you consider broadening the scope of the request and include Anita Watson, Don's wife, and call the room the Watson Room. Anita was a member of the Rocky Hill Historical Society, promoted and preserved and protected Rocky Hill history for at least 25 years. And she was also a member of the Rocky Hill Congregational Church. I'd like to speak to the Veterans Green. There's a naming form for the Veterans Green. I ask tonight that you name the green on Main Street in between Ames and CVS, the Veterans Memorial Green. That is what it truly is already. This is where many veteran monuments exist. World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea. There is a howitzer cannon on the grounds as well as an oak tree from the Constitutional Convention of 1902. It is an historic landscape and a place of honor where our town congregates on Memorial Day. It is as well a gateway to Rocky Hill. But I will also add that this Veterans Memorial Green needs to be spruced up a bit. We should add signage there. Signage that says Veterans Memorial, prune the half-dead bushes and mountain laurel, and make this place really something special. Lastly, I have just a comment on the process of the naming committee. I want to thank town historian Bob here and for coming to these meetings and supplying the history. Bob, as you know, is the author of 3 books on Rocky Hill and is the expert and incredible resource for the town. And I ask or suggest that the town historian formally be added as part of any future memorial naming of places. In other words, once a naming form comes into either the town manager or the chair, send it to the town historian for historical accuracy. this is a memorial naming committee. Adding the town historian to the naming process, I believe could only benefit the town. And that's all. I thank you.
Next,
Sure, Bob Heron, state your name and address.
Bob Heron, 37H Brookwood Drive. And I agree with that. I should be included. I made some notes on these things. The Anita Watson thing, I couldn't agree with more. I've done research into the Watsons. Don definitely needs to be, remembered and put on this building. I think if you look into Anita, you'll find out that what you had there was a power couple in their time. And I think it would be good to recognize them as a power couple. I can justify all of this. We have the documents. We have photographs of the Watsons, and enough said on that. I agree with Ed. The Watson room, I think, would be more inclusive than the Don Watson room. The town green has always been a thorn in my side as I do research. I've got a bunch of names for it: Center Green, Memorial Green, Town Green, Dividend Green. I did a book on Rocky Hill in World War I, and the name of the green was all over the place. And to further complicate things, there's a green in front of the Congregational Church that's also called Center Green. So we really need to disambiguate that and make it clear. I think veterans, I liked Ed's idea, Veteran Memorial Green. Two big reasons. One of the major events in our town is the Memorial Day Parade, which ends on the green, and the ceremonies are on the green, honoring veterans. If you go to the green, you're going to see monuments. The World War I monument was like the Rosetta Stone for me when I was doing research into World War I. The World War II monument sitting there beckoning me, and I want to get started on that because we'll run out of town real quick. But it's a Veterans Memorial Green. What better name could you possibly have? We have memorials to Vietnam veterans, Gulf War veterans. I agree with that, in short. Straska Farm, we've talked about before. I've done a fairly extensive history on Straska Farm that I've shared with most members of the committee. I hope you all got it. I also wrote an article that's going to be in the next month's Rocky Hill Life, just on the history of the place, just to do a little promotion. I think Ed's commercial is right at spot on, that I would like to be more included in these discussions. And the Historical Society has a wealth of information, artifacts, photographs, whatever you need when you're making these decisions. So amen, Ed. And that's pretty much it for me.
Thank you. I don't think we have any other public comment, and I've looked through the packet. We do not have anything to read in that we didn't read in last time, which we did read all those in. I think Mary Hogan helped us read a lot of those in. Bob, thank you for the research and the history. As we promised, Mimi, who couldn't be here tonight, made the motion that we table the Straska Farm issue until we could get that history into our hands for at least 10 days. And it's actually, the town delivered it on the July 5th, and so it's 15 days, just over 10 days. So 15 days we've had a chance to read the history, and I'm sure everybody did, and it's all very cool stuff. And thank you for that hard work and research.
And I'm available for any clarification anybody needs. I'm retired.
Sure.
Lots of time. Yeah.
Sure. So we promised to call the meeting, to get that back on the table. And so here we are. I guess what I'll do, since we're moving out of public comment, I'll ask for approval of the June 6, 2023 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 6th, 2023.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion on the minutes? All right, all in favor, raise your hand so we can take the count. Thank you, Mary. Sandy, cool. All right, good. All right. Next up on the agenda is discussion possible action naming the town green Dividend Road, Main Street. And this is the Veterans Memorial name.
Can
Uh,
I motion on the
yep.
table? We can discuss it. I'd like to make a motion to call it the Veterans Memorial Green.
Is that exactly pursuant to the application?
That's what I'm reading. It says Veterans Memorial Green.
Great.
Second.
Do I
that
have
motion.
you have a second? Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your hand. Sandy, are you raising your hand?
I think she might be frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Sandy, are you raising your hand?
She might have froze.
I think she was voting yes for this.
She's frozen.
Ray, I thought I saw her hand start to go up just as she about to freeze, but we could verify that with her and include it in the notes.
She moved. Wait.
Sandy, if
Sandy?
you can hear us, raise your hand in the affirmative.
Did we see a hand?
Not yet. Maybe she's texting somebody. I have none. If we,
Oh, there. Oh, she's mute. No, she's not mute.
so we have an affirmative vote because we have a quorum and we can just validate which way Sandy voted after freezing. And I think that will be allowed and that we're on good footing to do that because she is attending. So we want her vote to count.
Definitely have a 3 vote with possibly a 4.
Yep. So okay. So that motion passes, Mary.
Yes.
Thank you for the motion. Next up on our list to discussion and possible action is the naming of the Community Senior Center meeting room, conference room after Don Watson. And do I have a motion on the floor?
Yeah, so I'll make the motion, and actually I should have said the motion is to move this towards the town council. We're not making a decision. We're just moving it to the town council.
That's right. The previous vote and all our votes is nothing more than to say, hey, we're agreeing to send the application to the town council for their deliberations and their final vote, yes, no, or modification. So all we've done is agree to send the Memorial Veterans application up to the council, and we're asking if we want to do that for this one or not.
Yeah, so I'd like to make the motion that we pass forward to the council the Donald G. Watson Memorial Room or the Watson Room or the Donald and Anita Watson and have the council make that decision. Is that all right? Or do you want just is that all right?
Let's see if I have a second and then we'll discuss.
I would second that motion.
Okay, and then we can discuss and make a friendly amendment if we have to. And I think staff can speak to this for us.
Yeah, what you're doing is making a motion to recommend to the mayor.
Okay,
You're recommending to the mayor for her to bring to the town council.
okay.
for action. So that's what you're doing on all of your motions. I don't see a problem with the adding Anita Watson as a suggested, addition to the form. So that should be fine, I think.
Yeah, we know so obviously we know the family, and I don't think they would have an objection, but we would run it by them and confirm that for the mayor to have in the notes, and we'll provide her with those additional notes, those
Perfect.
considerations. Absolutely. All right. Any further discussion?
Is Sandy,
Hearing,
Ed, I've been texting with Sandy and we don't have a chat on this, do we?
I don't
No,
see,
No,
I don't
see
see.
one.
Ed, do you have Sandy's phone number? Maybe I can give her a call.
Should I give it out over the Zoom now or?
Do you wanna email me? Text?
Yes, I can email you, or I have actually Ed's. Ed, can I send it to you? Do you have your phone on you?
well, I think Ray was just gonna call her and loop
was
her
gonna
into
call
the
her.
meeting on the, Ray was gonna loop her in on the meeting on voice at least, right, Ray?
Right.
All right, let me see, so I will email you, Ray. Second. All right, Ray, I just emailed that to you.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, all right.
We are going to bring you in via phone.
Well, it's a little late. I had comments on each of these items, but it seems like they've already passed. I don't have a problem with the names, with the Memorial Green and the Washington. I have a problem with the process. We publicized for names for the farm months and months ago. We gave the public an opportunity. Has it ever been published that we want to name the town green, that we want to have submissions for the community center room? Or was this just two nominations that came in and we've approved them? Because the public had an opportunity to give input.
The ordinance is not drafted accordingly. The ordinance is drafted if a form is submitted to the mayor refers it to the Memorial Naming Committee.
So that seems kind of like open season, just pick a name for something, and I'm sure people would have wanted to have input.
We're just following the ordinance.
I know it's too late now.
Well,
Did you get approved? Did the community center and the town green get approved?
No,
Well, Sandy, I think it's important to understand too, we're not approving them. We're just sending it to the mayor who's going to bring it to the council and then they approve it. So we're just,
We're selected. We don't have any others to add to the choices. That's my question.
no, we do not have any other, however, this is very difficult talking on this phone. It's doubling up here.
Uh,
I have a terrible connection here. But keep going, at least
All right.
leave me on the line.
Let me tell you what we did for the town green. There was a vote for 3-0 to approve the town green, but we were gonna wait to try to get you in to see if you have any comments or how you want to vote for the naming of the town green to the Veterans Memorial Green.
I vote yes, I vote for that.
Okay. So the next motion was to refer the Don Watson nomination to the mayor. However, there was a inclusion to also include Anita Watson and possibly naming the room instead of the Don Watson room, naming it the Watson room or Watson Memorial Room.
I heard that. My question is, are there other Watsons in town who might be confused with this? That's my only, I agree with naming both of those folks. I just wonder, it's not an uncommon name, but that's my only comment.
Yeah, I would agree with Sandy. I think that if, I have no objection certainly to including Anita, but I think and I guess it would be left to the town council to come up with the final naming, but I think the name should be there. So it'd be like the Donald and Anita Watson. So it's clear exactly who it is.
Great.
Okay,
That's perfect. Yeah.
so the motion could be amended to include Donald and Anita Watson room?
Well, or my motion said that, right? My motion said that we.
Yes, yep,
I think-
yep. Your motion said that. And so we want those notes in the motion to carry up to the mayor.
Just to be clear that it maybe shouldn't be just the Watson room.
Right, okay. So is that a 4-0 vote?
Well, we haven't voted yet. He hasn't called the question.
Okay, if there's no more comment, all in favor, raise your hand. And Sandy, you speak. Okay,
Okay, aye.
all right, four votes for that. Thank you. That is now referred to the mayor and council. And the last item on the agenda is discussion possible action naming the town farm, AKA known as the Streska Farm. And that application, which we've reviewed at length, and we did have all the backup history. So do I have a motion on that
I'd like
naming
to,
request?
I'd like to make a motion that we send forward to the mayor the name Rocky Hill Community Farm.
Do I have a second?
I just have a question, actually.
Need a second first. Got a second the motion.
Sandy, do you want to second it?
I second it.
Okay, it's been seconded. Any discussion?
Can we send out multiple names so they can make the ultimate decision?
No. The purpose of the committee is to pick a name to refer.
So we have picked through 7 different names: West Acres, Streska Farm, Ridge Hill Farm, Rocky Hill Community Farm, Ridge 1843 Agricultural Center, the Kind Earth Open Farm, Eden, or some variation of Eden. And those are the 7 official applications. And then we do have a long list of, or we have a list, I won't say it's long, but we have a list of family names in history that owned Consolidated. There was a mill on the property, and we've all read the history that Bob Heron has put forward. But we now have a motion on the floor, seconded, to go with the Rocky Hill Community Farm.
Ed, can I have a point of order, please?
You're not on the committee.
No, Ed, no, please.
But you didn't mention a
You're not on
form
the,
that I just put in, called the Rocky Hill Town Farm.
And then you
That
said
was
community
just
farm.
added, and you did not mention that.
All right, that's an additional name, Rocky Hill Town Farm. Ed submitted a form for that.
Oh, all right,
Rocky Hill Town
Sorry,
Farm.
but thank you.
all right.
Yeah, it was in the package.
Okay. All right.
Rocky Hill
With
Town
that
Farm
being-
As opposed to Rocky Hill Community Farm?
We have a motion on the floor.
we have a motion for Rocky Hill Town Community Farm. And I guess the answer is, Mary, do you want to, well, first of all, Steve Slattery, who's making comment, do you want to propose a friendly amendment? And then
I'm
we'll
just-
go to Mary to see if she wants to amend her motion.
I'm just seeking clarity. What was the motion, the Rocky Hill Community Farm or the Rocky Hill Town Community Farm?
Community farm.
The
Rocky-
Rocky Hill Community Farm,
That
correct?
was the original motion.
I mean, but you're welcome to do a friendly amendment to change
No,
it.
No, I think,
Mary, do you-
I think that's too many words. Yeah, no, I like Rocky Hill Community Farm better than the Rocky Hill Town Community Farm.
No, it was actually Rocky Hill Town Farm is what Ed Chicarello submitted, the last week. So it was Rocky Hill Community Farm, which is what the motion was.
Yep,
Ed
And then
Chicarello
it's-
submitted Rocky Hill Town Farm,
a separate one.
separate one.
But Ed also submitted the Rocky Hill Community Farm. So either one of those Ed is in favor of. Is that what I'm deriving
He
from
did
this?
submit both, yes.
Okay, excellent.
Are we in a discussion phase
Yes.
after having a second?
Yes.
I believe
Correct.
community embraces the total purpose of the farm, rather than town states the location. The community says, this is our purpose. So I recommend staying with Rocky Hill Community Farm.
All right. Then there's no friendly amendment to the motion, and I would say that what we want to do now is take a vote. And all in favor of the motion, raise their hand. Aye.
Aye,
And
Sandy.
great. That's a 4 vote, Ray.
4 4-0-0.
All right. All right. Hey, we're doing something, guys and gals. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
I make that motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor? Aye. And good night. Good night,
Aye.
everyone.
have a good night, everyone. Mr. Herron, thank you so much for all your work. That's greatly
Yeah, thanks,
appreciated.
Bob.
Definitely.
Thanks,
I was a little
Bob.
more on the fence, and I think that it was much appreciated, the work you put in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You. Take care.
Thank you for looping me in.
Hi, Sandy.
There. Thank you for